When the xTool Apparel Printer first arrived to my house, I'm not even going to lie, I was excited, but I was also really nervous. Bringing new equipment into the studio is a big deal, especially when embroidery has been your comfort zone for many, many years. But the delivery process itself was honestly super smooth. Everything arrived packaged really, really well. Nothing was damaged. And once we got everything into the house, the setup process was easier than I actually expected it to be. The machine walks you through so much of the setup, and that made the whole experience feel a lot less intimidating. I truly thought this was going to be one of those overwhelming situations where I'd spend days trying to figure everything out, but it really wasn't like that. This is definitely outside of my normal comfort zone, but so far it has been such a great experience, and I cannot wait to show you guys more. Hello beautiful people, welcome back to another video. I am Tanish Fortson, your favorite virtual embroidery coach. So today's video is a little different because I want to take you through the full journey of receiving my xTool Apparel Printer. Now I am going to show you guys the frustrations, things that may have surprised me, and I am going to show you guys where I am now, which is combining embroidery and DTF, and also combining DTF with rhinestones. So it did take a cool minute to get here where I am currently, but I have really enjoyed this process. Now this is my disclaimer. I'm not an expert on the xTool Apparel Printer. We will get into some of the issues that I have been having as a beginner in DTF, as someone who is brand new to DTF with no prior experience and no prior knowledge. I'm still learning, I'm still experimenting. I'm very curious about some of the things that the software can do. So you guys are going to be right here beside me on this learning how to print journey. All right, this is my xTool Apparel Printer in all of her glory. So what I'm gonna do right now is go ahead and power her up. I'm gonna do a really quick cleaning. There are some details that I do wanna go over with you about this machine as far as the self-maintenance. Now, I don't print every single day. Matter of fact, it could be upwards of 2 weeks where I haven't printed, and I just run a couple of maintenance tests and cleaning tests, and then the printer prints fine. So it's doing the test right now. It's about 30 some seconds left, and I just want to quickly go over some of the issues that I have ran into with this printer, and it is 100% user error. One of the things that I did not know, because I did not do a lot of research, was that you need a controlled environment when you are doing prints. I live in Texas, it's very hot and it's very humid. And also, if you guys notice, there is a huge window right here and there are no curtains. I have like a shade, and it's not the kind of shade that blocks out the sun. I did have some curtains up, but I took them down because they didn't really go with the aesthetic. But I'm going to end up moving this printer in a different area of my studio. In the meantime, this box right here is a humidifier. So I will be using the humidifier and sitting it right by the print head. So we're going to unbox that a little bit later and get the humidifier set up. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to digitize my embroidery design and get that design stitched out. And we're just going to talk through the process, how long it takes me to digitize versus how long it takes me to print, what I would charge for each item, how much the prints cost. We're going to dive into all of that information. So I'm really excited about tonight's video. I am just going to catch you guys up to where I am in the process. I created this design right here, Juneteenth 1865, in this software. This is Silhouette Studio, the business edition software, and I use the knockout technique. I wanted a rhinestone outline around the numbers with different colors. I wanted the color of the number to match the rhinestone. This is what I ended up creating. These rhinestones will fit nicely around the Juneteenth design. I had to save them as SVGs and I sent them to my Cricut software. So here are the cut files. Since the 5 and the 1 are both red, they can cut together. And then we had the green and we had the yellow. So next I headed over to the xTool software and I imported the SVG file. And this is how the SVG file looks. The only thing that I had to do for xTool is hit print. And I can kind of show you guys right now, but I will have to do a cleaning first for the machine. Let's just connect it. I'm going to print a couple more of these designs anyways. So you guys can probably hear my machine powering up in the background. I am going to come right here to print. And it's mirrored because this is DTF. There's standard and there's ultra. I do print with ultra. That takes a tad bit longer. And you can do a mock-up if you want to, but I am not. I'm just gonna hit print. Over here it's saying that it's gonna take about 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And you can even like calculate your cost in this software. It tells you the color ink that will be used, how much film will be used, and the cost. So it basically costs 54 cents for this one transfer, okay? And you can make like a mini gang sheet. So I could probably fit about 3 transfers on this sheet. So it's going to print the transfer. It's going to powder the transfer. It's going to bake the transfer. And then it's going to spit the transfer out at the bottom. So it's printing right now. So I'm going to minimize this. And now while this is printing, and it's going to take 2 minutes and 40 seconds, let's hop over to Embroidery. So I just opened the Create tab and I'm going to import the SVG into Embroidery. I'm going to click on Vector. Now we need to start digitizing this and adding our stitches, okay? So this isn't going to be a 100% full tutorial because this is all about the xTool, but I am going to show you guys what I'm going to do first, which is add the fill stitches. I'm going to select all of the letters and, ooh, we're doing them different colors. So I actually can't do it this way. I think the number 1 is red. So we're gonna come right here to fill and we're gonna come to the color and we're gonna turn it red. We're gonna hit OK. I think yellow is next. Select those 2, come over here to yellow, look for any kind of yellow. We'll go with summer rain, hit OK, hit the fill stitch. Next is green. I'm going to select the 2 pieces for the green. Click on color, find a nice green that I like. I like Kelly green, and I'm going to come right here to fill. And for my last 2 pieces, this is red again. So I'm going to click color, and I'm going to click on palettes, and I'm going to click red and hit OK. And I'm just going to click fill stitches. So this still needs to be cleaned up a lot, and I am going to lighten the density because this is a t-shirt. I'm going to get all of the stitches going in the correct direction, and I'm going to digitize these letters individually. So I will be back and let you know how long it takes me to do this. Do you guys know that it is like 45 minutes later? This has so many letters until it's ridiculous, but I'm on the H now. This is the last letter. Like the E's, I was able to copy and paste as well as the T's. So let's do the H together. I'm using the left-right alternating columns. Alrighty, I am done. So I am going to save this and test stitch this before I put it on a shirt. I'm going to test stitch on some scrap fabric. Digitizing took about 50 minutes, almost upwards of an hour. Here is the design ready to stitch out. In the process, I did have to test stitch it, so everything test stitched great. And here is my little gang sheet. I'm printing 3 of the same design, but in DTF. I'm going to hit print. The estimation is 6 minutes, and let's calculate the cost of these prints. If you're a business and you wanted to get into selling gang sheets, then you can totally sell gang sheets. They're not like the big wide ones. And actually, let me find out the printing dimensions of this machine. The maximum print area is 14 by 18 inches. So it is 18 inches long and 14 inches across, which is more than enough space. All right, so this is calculating $1.40. It gives you how much white ink is used and how much film is used. So I'm just gonna hit print. I have the shaker oven. So after it prints, the powder that you see right here moving is going to get put onto the gang sheet, and then it's going to bake and cure in this oven part right here and come out at the bottom. And then I also have the air purifier. So all of the chemicals and the things that are bad for you goes into this filter right here, and the filters are washable. And this is the humidifier that I have. So if this prints and it has those little specks, I will show you guys. But look how good it looks. So this design is fill stitches, so it takes about an hour to print out. So I actually really need to get the machine going. All right, so I'm putting the embroidery on this sweatshirt. This is a lane 7 sweatshirt. It is a little fleecy. I mean, I could choose to use the Salvia on top, or I could not use it. It really doesn't matter. Here's an old piece right here. All right, and the DTF transfer is going to go on a white t-shirt. All right, you will need 2 bobbins for this design. So as soon as this runs out, you're going to need another bobbin. It's 54,000 stitches. And that's only because the fill stitches are not super thick, but for the simple fact I did put a really thin satin border around this design as well. So that's kind of what made it 54,000 stitches. So let's trace. Okay, I think the placement is okay. It's kind of hard to see the laser sometimes. Alrighty, let's go. I just want to show you the first prints that I ever used on my printer, because I feel like sometimes videos will make everything seem too easy, like snap my fingers, everything is perfect. Coming from zero experience DTF, I went over to Etsy and I bought a file, and I could not understand why my colors were not vibrant. These were my first prints. I tried experimenting with sizes. I tried everything to get the colors more vibrant. I knew that it was user error, so I went into the xTool software and I found another print to kind of work with. And when I seen how vibrant those colors were, I knew that I can't just buy any file off of Etsy and print it out. So also another mistake that I have made, and I still kind of make it a little bit, but I know better, is that these are a cool peel. So the first few times that I would just snatch it off and I would take like a little bit of the transfer with it. So I've learned that I gotta peel it cool, and then it has to be kind of slow, and I have to lift it a little bit to make sure that I'm not taking the transfer off. I don't know, like I said, it still could be user error where I don't have my heat press set to the right temperature. This was the next thing that I started working on, where I knew that the colors were nice and bright and vibrant. So I just printed this out on a little bag and just see how nice the color is. That wasn't happening with this print right here. The picture that they had posted, my transfer did not look like this. After I got through the first couple prints with the printer, I didn't use the printer for about 2 weeks. Came back to start using the printer. I'm gonna show you guys close up of this transfer. I don't know if you guys can see the specs on there. Like you see right in here, no idea why my printer started printing like this. I thought that it had something to do with me not printing for 2 weeks, but after further research, I found out that it is the temperature. And look, this is how it looked when I would press it onto the material. Started doing a little bit of research, And I still need to put in a ticket, just confirm that's what's going on, but you have to have a controlled environment. And as I was saying earlier, the printer is right by the window. And then also my daughters are up here and they get cold, so they turn off the air. So it gets really hot, and this is an upstairs studio. The temperature is all over the place in here. Okay, I'm going to start brushing these rhinestones in so that we could press the rhinestones onto the DTF print and the embroidery print. Here is the embroidered part of the design, and let's check on our print. So it says completed, meaning that the print is done. So now it is going through the process. Let me see. You guys can see that the oven is on. I need to brush this in 2 times. So let's cut the transfer tape. I can see the paper coming out, and it is done. We have the transfer paper cut. So the 8 is yellow, red, and the 6 is green. Let's start off with the red. And I love this case that holds the rhinestones so much. I'm gonna put my fabric weight on here just so nothing moves. I think the red just finished on the embroidery machine, and now the yellow is embroidering, which is the 2nd number. All right, I need my wax pen. I ran out of bobbin and it caused my thread to break. I'm just gonna cut that off. Make sure this is pushed back in. Make sure nothing is caught under. And I'm gonna go back about 50 stitches. All right. All right, it is still 24 minutes. And this is how the design is looking so far. It's gorgeous. A little under 15 minutes left. And this is where we are. The machine is still going, but I have completed all of the rhinestone transfer for both shirts. We have our little gang sheet. We have our t-shirt that is going on. So I am going to press the gang sheet on the t-shirt and put the rhinestones on while the machine's still going. Finally done. 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 47 seconds. And this is the design in all its glory. She's gorgeous. All right, I would have been done pressing by now, but my heat press was not turned on. I didn't turn it on because I cannot have the printer going, the machines going, the studio lights, and the heat press going. I will blow a fuse real quick. So I usually wait for the printer to stop printing before I will turn on the heat press. I want to make sure any kind of lint is off. I'm even going to get a new one. This looks straight to me. It's still pretty hot, so let me just check. I know that you have to be careful to not mess up the transfer with the extra heat. So since this requires multiple presses, I don't know, I guess we're just gonna see. Trying to make sure none of the stones touch the DTF. And I think this is good. So you see how that is touching? I don't know how this is gonna react. Okay, now I'm gonna do the 1. I'm gonna do the 5, and I'm not gonna do the 6. Cross our fingers, you guys. I don't know if that's gonna help, but I'm trying to protect the transfer. I'm only gonna do like 10 seconds. Oh my God, you guys, it's pulling up. Okay, let me let it cool. It's pulling up the DTF. Already messed it up a little bit, but it's okay. We're not gonna panic. We're not gonna panic. We're gonna let it cool. Ooh, sorry you guys. I accidentally pulled it off without recording, but some damage was done on the yellow. I don't even know if this can take one more press because I got to get the green stones on. And I need to educate myself on how to properly do this or find the best way and the best technique. All right, so let's cover this and let's cover one more time. We're only going to do about 10 seconds. And then I kind of want to do like a final press, but I don't know, you guys. Oh, shoot. I got distracted. I was only supposed to do 10 seconds. Okay, what I can say is that the mess up that was on the 8 went back down. I'm a little upset about the 5. Okay, we did it. I'm going to give this one more final press. Oh, it looks great. That little mess up that was in the yellow is no longer there after I pressed it. But the 5 where I tried to take it off and it wasn't a cool peel, there's a little mess up there. All right, let's do the embroidery. So I'm gonna lay this right here. I'm just pressing the sweatshirt, getting it ready for the transfers. I'm also going to lint roll it. So it doesn't too much matter how I press the rhinestones on for the embroidery. So it is a tighter fit with the embroidery because I added a satin border around these stitches. So it's just a tighter fit. Oh Lord, I made one rhinestone move. I don't really need a cover for that. Ooh, I hooped this a little bit too low, but it's okay because I'm gonna cut the neckline off and I'm gonna cut the band off at the bottom. But this looks so good and they both are spectacular. All right, as we wrap up, let's just unbox the humidifier. It's actually pretty lightweight, so I'm just going to slide it right over here in the corner. I know that I probably need to fill it with water before use. Remove the wraps. All right, let's see. Okay, I have to clean the tank and then fill the tank. Ooh, scoot it in very snugly so it can be right next to ink head, which is right here. So adding the xTool Apparel Printer has been an absolute game changer for me. You just seen the printer in action. You've seen my embroidery machine in action. And I have always been the type of person, you guys know the saying, jack of all trades, master of none. I do believe that. When it comes to me and embroidery, we are like this. Like I have been going hard for embroidery for so many years, and I have just been screaming embroidery from the mountaintop. Embroidery is literally a hill that I will die on. However, being put into the DTF world has completely changed, I guess, my mind frame. I am now open to having more equipment in my studio now that I see that there are so many options. I have even been playing with combining DTF, and this is the DTF print. I put it on my embroidery machine and I tried to create a satin outline around it. Now clearly it is off because this is my first time doing it, and your lineup game needs to be top tier. Like, you need to be able to line it up. But look at how beautiful it is. Like, I'm a huge fan of mixed media, and having the DTF is going to allow me to explore so many more options for my customers. You know, we charge a premium for embroidery. So for those customers who don't want to pay that embroidery price, I can just offer them DTF. So this DTF mixed with embroidery, it just looks like, a leather applique. For something like this is just a Gildan t-shirt that I spent about $4 on. You guys see my print. If you calculate the cost, t-shirt $4, we're just gonna say the print is $1.50. So that's only a little over $5.50 to make this. And this is something that I would sell for about $35. Now, of course, you got to take away your overhead and factor in your hourly rate as well as your production time, but you can make a premium and it is very quick to make. Now, let's say this was on a t-shirt and the t-shirt cost me the same price, about $4. For the embroidery, this took over an hour to embroidery. I would have to charge about $50 for a t-shirt. And it's like, who's gonna pay $50 for a t-shirt? So it just gives you something to think about. It gives your customer options. Now, some people will pay $50 for a t-shirt. So like I said, that's that option that you can give your customers. Now, I just want to do some side-by-side comparisons. This is embroidery with rhinestones, and this is DTF with rhinestones. If both of these were t-shirts, I would sell this for about $35 and I would sell this for about $50 because it took a whole hour to stitch out. And even at $50, that's a little questionable because of the digitizing, because of the 1 hour to stitch out, just the whole production time in general, versus this print, which took a few minutes to print out, and I believe it was $1.40 in total cost. So I mean, I will let you guys be the judge, but they both look spectacular. Using DTF allowed me to reduce the stitch time, which will allow you to have a cheaper price. It still gives you a premium look. That is the most important thing. This still looks high quality and premium, just as the embroidery does. Some people may even prefer this look more. I know that if I had a full day of DTF prints, then I'm not gonna burn out the same way as doing a full day of embroidery. I would say my biggest takeaway from having the xTool apparel printer, and this is just from my personal experience, is not to attach yourself to one method like I have done. You guys know me and embroidery. This whole process has been very exciting, unlocking a new type of creativity that is outside of embroidery. I mean, I'm still going to do my mixed media and mix it with embroidery and rhinestones and all the things, but it's just really nice to not have my identity attached to only embroidery. And when I think about the whole situation, it's really not about me. It's about what my customers want, the type of quality that I could give them, my turnaround time, and the final product, whether it looks good or not. That's what it's really all about in the end. So if combining methods like DTF and embroidery, or DTF and rhinestones, or whatever the case may be, helps me create faster while still producing quality products, then I am all for it 100%. So this is basically where I am right now with my xTool apparel printer. I'm still learning, I'm still experimenting, and I'm still testing. I plan to go into their actual software more and create things from scratch, so that I could take it into other softwares and create more things. But I genuinely think that combining rhinestones and embroidery and DTF print will open up completely different doors that I did not have access to before. I am 100% ready to unlock a new level of creativity using the xTool apparel printer. So if you guys want more videos with how I plan on mixing media in the future, comparing production methods, business strategies, and all of the behind the scenes of how I I run my business moving forward, then be sure that you are subscribed to my channel. Do not forget that if you are needing extra help with embroidery, I do have a mentorship. I have courses. If you need digital files, I have those as well. This Juneteenth file is available along with the shirt that I am wearing, rhinestone and embroidery mixed media design. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.